If you are making way too many unforced errors when you play matches, then I'm going to help you with that in this video by explaining the easiest way for the vast majority of players to cut down on unforced errors. Hopefully you find the video helpful. If you do, it'd be great if you give me a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel before, it always really helps me out and it's much appreciated if you could do that as well. When the vast majority of players make an unforced error, they immediately assume that it was a problem with their technique. And while there are probably things that you need to improve technically, and I'll talk about some of them in a moment, when you watch players, you analyze their matches, most of the unforced errors happen through poor shot selection. Players trying to be too aggressive, trying to hit too big a shot, either too soon in the rally or just a shot that they don't have the ability to execute on a consistent basis. And I want to give you kind of two common examples of that. The first one being you get pushed out wide by your opponent, and so many players, they go aggressive and they try to hit a winner down the line. And occasionally they'll make it, and that actually creates more problems in itself. Because they've made this very low percentage shot, they start going for it more and generally start missing, and they miss more and give their opponent more free points than they're winning. Another example is going to be when you get a short forehand. When we watch the pros play, short forehands are easy shots, they put them away, or they at least hit a very aggressive shot. So most players think that that's what they should do. And it isn't, because most players don't have the ability and the timing to make that happen. Because when someone kind of gives you a floaty ball, a softer ball, for you to attack it, you have to create your own power, and that requires greater timing. Obviously, timing is one of the hardest things for most players. So instead of going for those aggressive shots, if you want to cut down on your unforced errors, the easiest thing is just to play higher percentage plays. So when you get pushed out wide, hit it cross court, generally deep, or aiming deep, but high over the net. Going cross court gives you more margin for error because the court's longer. Going high over the net gives you margin for error, clearing the net, and it gives you time to recover and get back in position and then wait for a better opportunity. When it's that short ball, yes, you can try and be relatively aggressive, but you don't have to try and crush it and hit the lines. Generally, just guiding the ball back deep, especially if you're going to follow it into the net, is enough to cause most opponents to miss. And again, it's relative to the level that you're playing at. So the easiest way to cut down on unforced errors is just high percentage plays. Now that I've explained that, I want to touch on the technical side of things briefly, because there are probably things that you do need to work on technically. And I find, unfortunately, a lot of players are focusing on the wrong thing within their practice. They're often focusing on something that's maybe too advanced for them, or something that's just not the real problem that they're dealing with. Now, obviously, we're trying to cut down on unforced errors. We're trying to increase consistency. And that's all going to be about being able to control the angle of the racket face at the moment of contact. There is no right or wrong way to hit shots. It's all about trying to increase your ability to control the angle of the racket face at the moment of contact. So then we have to look at what things reduce the likelihood that we'll be able to control the angle of the racket face. And here we tend to have to look far more fundamentally. A lot of players prepare late for their shots. So if you prepare late for your shot, you don't get set up in position in time. That is going to be one of the most common reasons that players aren't able to hit a good quality stroke, which then leads to a poor contact. So potentially you might need to work on preparing earlier, which means working on timing your split step well, maybe working on your footwork. Potentially you might need to work on improving your visual system so you can read the flight of the ball faster, but I'll talk more about that in a moment. But then after late preparation, we've just got setting up in the wrong position. When you watch most players play, they don't set up in optimal positions. Often the ball's bouncing deep and people are trying to hit forehands and backhands from up there instead of either stepping in or, more realistically for most people, stepping back and allowing the ball to drop. And when you're trying to hit shots from these different positions, it's going to reduce the likelihood that you'll hit a good quality shot. Players are often getting too close to the ball, which when you're too close to the ball, it then prevents optimal biomechanics. So potentially you might need to really work on the quality of your preparation. So preparing early, but then really training your footwork patterns and thinking about setting up in better positions. And by doing both of those things, it's going to help you to make less unforced errors. And then the next common problem is hitting the ball late. Like, so many of the technical things that players try and correct are actually just poor timing, and because they've got poor timing, they're not doing the stuff that they should be doing. So it's very probable that you need to work on improving your timing, but you have to go through it in order. If you are preparing late, you have to deal with that first, then you have to work on the spacing and the positioning side of things, then you can start to work on the timing. And you want to start to think through your own tennis like that, and you want to record yourself to see what you're actually doing. And if you record yourself, you'll probably identify some of the problems that I've just talked about then. So that's what you need to try and fix. So working on addressing technical problems is really important, but for most tennis players, there's going to be something else that you'll need to do if you really want to cut down on unforced errors and to improve your consistency, especially while you're trying to hit a better quality of shot. And that is improving your hand-to-eye coordination, because ultimately tennis is about your level of eye-to-hand coordination. Can you quickly read the flight of the ball? Can you predict where it's going so that you can set up in the right position? And then do you have the coordination to make the adjustments on your swing that you need to? And high-level tennis players have greater eye-to-hand coordination. So in addition to good shot selection, in addition to practicing the right thing technically, if you work on improving your eye-to-hand coordination, it can really help you become a much better player than you are now. And I'd like to teach you how to do it for free in a live NEURO tennis workshop that I've got coming up. I'll place a link to this workshop down in the description. So if you click on that link, it'll take you over to a different page so you can learn more about it. But if you want to become a better player, I think you'll really enjoy it. So go ahead and click that link now. If you have any questions about what I've talked about here, leave a comment in the comment section. And I guess also in the comment section, I'll leave a few video links to different resources that I've got on YouTube to help you kind of work on those technical elements that I've just described. Okay, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you next time.